guys, welcome to the show. We're doing something special this evening as it is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. I'm Michele Forto and I'm the lead trainer for Alaska Dog Works. This is my co-trainer and daughter Nicole, and she's going to be joining us this evening. So hit that like button, and remember, if you go in and you hit the notification bell, you'll never miss any of our live shows. So this evening, we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving, and it is a little bit early, but first, let's make sure everybody has taken their turkey out of the freezer and placed it in the fridge. Time's ticking away, and we want to make sure everybody has the best Thanksgiving in the past 2 years, right? So, tonight, Nicole and I are going to talk about safety precautions for your dog at the Thanksgiving table, crowd overwhelming situations for your dog, as well as what kind of activities can and should you do with your dog in preparation for all of those guests that might be coming to your home this year for Thanksgiving. So, Nicole, let's get started, shall we? Why don't we start with what can you do to prepare your dog before the crowd arrives?
I think one of the biggest things that I share to any client, and holiday or not holiday, is that you should practice your dog's ability to do a stay with a door open to the outside world, you coming and going, whether it's yourselves, your kids, or guests, because you don't know if someone can catch your dog if they're trying to run out the door. So it's a lot better to teach them that they stay, whether that door is open or not, whether you're inside or outside and you're walking in and out, they need to remain on their stay.
That's a good point, but also to go a little further than that, if you are teaching your dog how to stay with a door open, keep this in mind. You might have several kids or even adults going in and out of your house during any kind of party, like Nicole mentioned. It's a good idea to teach the dog that just because the door's open doesn't mean they need to go in and out as well. And you're going to practice this with a door that you don't typically take your dog in and out of, or allow your dog to go in and out of for any old reason freely. So usually when you go in and out your front door, your dog is affixed to a leash. But if you let your dog in and out the back door, it's not. So there's a little bit of a difference there. Something else you can do to prepare your dog for the coming crowds is to make sure you exercise your dog quite well, at least an hour or two before the festivities begin. And what I mean by that is don't just take your dog on a run or down to the dog park. You need to be thinking about doing at least 30 minutes of constructive exercise with your dog, doing actual training. Go through those paces that I give you guys that are super boring but very effective. And they're very effective because they tire your dog out mentally and physically by design. So if you start with your paces sheet and then take your dog for a nice brisk walk or a run or even down to the dog park, let him smell around and goof off for a good hour, bring him back and finish up those paces, you've worked out your dog for nearly 2 full hours prior to the festivities beginning. Also, gentlemen, this gets you guys out of the way of having to do any of those prepping and cooking duties, unless, of course, you would like to sit around and watch football. Then you need to get one of those teenage kids to do these tasks, because believe me, making sure the dog is happy and well adjusted prior to everyone coming and the excitement raising will make your life a lot easier. Once everyone arrives, or as they're arriving, I think that it's a good idea to allow your dog to visit and greet everyone as they come in the door. This is a great opportunity to practice that visit command. Sit your dog, wait your dog, hug your guest, and then have them ask if they can pet your dog. This demonstrates to the dog that he must be respectful to all people coming and going from your home that particular day. So you're going to want to practice the visit command. Once they've visited and had the opportunity to smell everyone, then you can make a few decisions. If your dog is calm and able to settle down on his bed with a toy or a bone, and the kids are going to be able to leave him alone, then allow him to do that. If your dog is overly excited or can't stop wiggling and running in between people and back and forth, it might be a good idea to put him in the backyard for a few minutes to give him a chance to shake off all of that excitement. And then lastly, as a last resort, get that puzzle toy, Kong toy, or something out of the freezer that you have set up for your dog and go park him in a quiet room where his kennel is, off limits to everyone and everything, so that he can have a moment to himself to calm down. Of course, you'll bring him out later. What do you think of that, Nicole?
I think a big piece in all of that is that you should utilize a crate. A crate is a very safe space for dogs. Even if they don't like to be in it 99% of the time, when dogs feel overwhelmed and stressed, they like to be in enclosed small spaces. So, utilizing a crate or even your bedroom where they go to bed is a good idea because it gives them the opportunity to get away from the stressful things and decompress.
Right, and it also gives you an opportunity to focus more on your guests, which brings us to the next part of our show and our tips and tricks. And that is, what can the dog eat? What should he not eat? And how in the world do I manage all the things while keeping the dog out of the trash and off of the counters? Nicole?
I think a good thing to think about if you're going to allow your dog to be out while you're cooking is leash them, either with a small tab leash just attached to their flat collar or their long training leash, and let them drag it around. That way you have a safety net. You can grab your dog quickly, you can put them into a sit, you can correct them off of a counter or off of children if they're overexcited, especially with puppies. I think the other good thing is you should practice the week prior, even a few days prior, leaving food right on the edge of the counter where you're going to have the snacks out, where you're going to have the dishes out, and make your dog focus on you and not the food.
Right, exactly. And for those of you placing your snack trays on coffee tables that are highly accessible for your dog, it might be a good idea just to remove the dog from the situation altogether. The day is about you enjoying family and friends as well as your dog, so we don't want to isolate them. We want to include them in parts and pieces of it, but if it becomes too stressful for all involved, it's best to make that separation. And foods that the dog can and can't eat. Robert has placed a couple of links in our comment section. One of them includes some Turkey Day leftovers that you can make into yummy dog treats for your dog. It's a super fun list. I hope that some of you try that. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought. If you did do some of those treats, I believe we posted this last year and we got a lot of feedback about it and it was a lot of fun. Number one on the list is your dog should not eat any part of the turkey carcass. That includes the bones and the skin. If you are going to give your dog the turkey meat, keep in mind it is rich and high in tryptophan, and so you want to give it to your dog in very small quantities, if at all. A lot of dogs can handle eating fowl, and some dogs cannot. So if your dog's allergic to chicken, I highly caution you against giving your dog turkey unless your veterinarian has said that you can do so. Still, no skin and no bones. If you have used any kind of nuts in any of your recipes, steer clear of having your dog eat any of those things. Remember, a lot of things that we eat on Thanksgiving are indulging, meaning that they're higher in sugar and they're higher in salt. So we want to be mindful of that. Some of the seasonings that we use to make our dishes delicious are toxic to the dogs, okay? We are using garlic. We are using onions. We are using raisins in some of these situations. So we want to be mindful of what our dog can and cannot eat. I'm going to implore you to get the poison control number for your dog quick and ready on your cell phone. That's a quick Google search. I'm not going to put that in the comment section below because I've spoken to you guys about having the poison control number on your phone for your dog in episodes past where we talk about emergency preparedness. Just refresh and make sure you've got that handy in case of an accident, okay?
I think something to mention with the poison control is the fact that it does not have to be a dog or animal specific poison control. You can call the human hotline and they can either connect you with vets or give you the information you need.
Absolutely. All right, what did we miss so far?
We went over turkey skins, and I think it was a good thing to mention onions and garlic because a lot of people don't realize that onions and garlic are actually pretty toxic for your dogs. And even if your dog has stomached them before, a high amount can cause them to have diarrhea or even throw up.
Right. So, those are our Thanksgiving tips. You want to exercise your dog, prepare for the festivities, be mindful of placement of food and people and objects. Watch your dog for stress so that you can limit and avoid those stressful situations for yourself and your dog. Watch what your dog is given to eat. And all in all, just enjoy the day and the festivities. We wish you well and we wish you a happy Thanksgiving, but I have one last thing to implore you guys to do. On Wednesday night, as some of your out-of-town guests start to arrive, I want you to tune in to our Wednesday night live show where we will be doing a Black Friday extravaganza. Be sure to tune in. You won't want to miss this. To learn more, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.